Hello and welcome to Take Time to Create. My name is Linda and today we are working in the Brooklyn Art Library Sketchbook. And here's just a few of the pages that I've already done. I will link the playlist for you guys up in the iCard so you can check it out, so you can see all of the pages I have done. I'm taking you along on my journey. I am almost done. I just have 1, 2, 3 more double pages to do, and then the first page. And that's it, because I did finish the last page, and that's it. And then I will turn it in. So kind of excited for that. Let me protect my other sheet. So what I do is I just take some instructions from a pattern. Really doesn't matter what it is. And I want to protect the other pages. It's not perfect. Sometimes paint does leak. But it just kind of helps it a little bit. So this is volume 15, and I just got an email that volume 16 is out. I can start ordering that or pre-ordering it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not, but I do love this. This is my second sketchbook, and I will link just a walkthrough for my first sketchbook up in the iCard, because I did not... For the first sketchbook, I didn't do a page by page to show you on the videos. I just did, let me show you what I did, just a sketchbook tour, and I'll link that as well in the iCard. All right, before we get working on that, let me show you what we're going to do. So I found this cowboy, and I really enjoyed him, and he did have a friend on the second page or the spread, and I really enjoy these two, and they were sitting on a fence, and I was like, well, they could ride a horse, or they could ride a dinosaur, or a train, anything. So I decided he was going to ride on an airplane, and he's gonna, drive the airplane this way. And then I was looking at what the background, and originally I thought, well, maybe in the mountains, but it was too busy. Then I thought, well, maybe over houses, but it was really busy. It was hard to see the differentiation between the airplane and the houses. I like it. But then I found the space book, and he's going to be flying across the moon on his airplane. So that is my thought process. What's going to happen with this page. Now this moon is far too big for my page. I'll just, tell you that much. And this is just in a coffee table book. I've used this one before, and it's entering space. So what I am going to do is cut out the moon, and then we're going to paint the background. And I know some of this moon will get truncated. I'll have to cut it off, because the book, you have to stay within the confines of the book. It can't be sneaking out. So we'll just have to kind of play with it. But that's okay if things hang off the edge. It makes it interesting, and I do like that. So let me cut this out. I did already fussy cut the other pieces, just because I don't know if you guys really want to watch me fussy cut. I mean, I don't know. If you do, let me know. I could ASMR that if anybody's interested. But for this channel, for the art channel, I just don't see how it's very interesting to watch me fussy cut. But, like I said, if that's something you guys want to see or hear, let me know. Here's my moon. Oh yeah, way too big. But I think I'm going to have it a little off center like this. Oh, I think I'll do it this way, and have him kind of flying this way and hanging off just a little bit. So since this is so very big, I'm not going to do a ton in the background. A lot of these I've done, let me show you. A lot of these you can see I did, dictionary pages and paint and everything on top of there. But since it's so small, so the moon is so big and there'll be so small of an area to show through, I'm just going to paint the background, and I'm actually just going to paint it black. I'm going to start with Liquitex Basics color. This is Ivory Black, and yeah, we'll start with that. And I think I might add a little bit of a dark blue. Can't really see on my palette, but I've got this black, and then I've got a super dark blue. I don't know if it's going to be quite dark enough, and because I didn't want it all the way black, I wanted just a little bit of blue in there. The night sky is not 100% black. The night sky has, colors in it, and since I'm not doing a ton with the background, I did want to give it a little bit make it a little more interesting than just solid black. I just want this really dark blue black, and I'm just going to paint it. So now I've added black and a little bit of white, and I'm making a gray, and I've dried the background, and I want to make this, oh, I gotta make it darker. I'm on dark gray, and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail with it, and just to give it a little more interest in the background. Not a lot, just I want to make it a nice dark gray. Just a little bit of white. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit of white. Lots of black. There we go. Nice dark gray. That's the joy of painting, is you can mix your own colors and you just kind of come up with what you need. I have met people that like to buy every single color, that they don't like to mix very much, but I like to mix because you never know what you're going to get. But the problem with mixing is you may not come up with the same thing again, but that's okay. And I'm just going to kind of swirl it around. Just swirl it just a little bit. Adding that gray. Then I'm taking a baby wipe and I'm just kind of wiping off a little bit, but I'm making it more splotchy so you can see the blue black underneath. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so that's the background. So it's got some interest, it's got some texture. I'm going to give it a little bit more here. Hold it up to the light. I've got some pre-bright lights going on right now, so it's kind of hard to see everywhere. And there we go. So I like this. Let me dry it, because before we put on the moon and the cowboy and his airplane, it needs to be completely dry. All right, so it's completely dry, and what we're going to do now is add Mod Podge and the moon, but we need to decide where we want the moon. I think we're going to make it like this, and let me, I'm going to need to fold it. I might have to come back and score the middle where the where it bends. I've had to do that on a few other pages just because it doesn't bend as well. Let's see here. I did it on this one. I had to, just because it was the middle seam and that's where, you know, the knot was. So I had to use my razor blade and cut it. So, but it looks fine. But that's the only one I really had to do that on. So I'm not sure if I will have to for the moon or not. But so I have just regular matte Mod Podge, and I am going to just put a thin layer all over the back. Go all the way to the edges. That's why I have this paper underneath, so I can go all the way to the edges. Just a nice thin layer. If it wrinkles, I'm not too worried about it. But I've heard some people relax the paper with just like a little spritz of water. It probably helps. I just go to town. Just Mod Podge. A gel medium, like a light gel medium, would work as well. Okay. So we are going to do this. We're going to have them a little off center, just like this. All right, finagle with it so it can open and close easily. And I think we are good. All right, so we have our moon. And I will put a layer of Mod Podge over the moon when I get my guy, my cowboy. All right, so since I've got my cowboy, I'm gonna work with them together as in one piece, so I don't have to fuss with it later. Let me make sure I'm happy with it like this. There we go. All the way, get all of the edges all the way down. There's lots of little tiny pieces on this airplane. I like how he's black and white and the airplane and the moon are all in color. It kind of gives, you know, this opposite, the, you know, he's from the past and the moon and the airplane are from the future. I just kind of like the way it's working out. I like the way it looks. Okay. So now we're going to have to peel them off very carefully. All right. I want him to kind of be coming off the page this way. And he's flying across the moon. All right, now I'm putting Mod Podge over the whole thing. It looks a little milky, but don't worry, it will dry clear and matte. I'm pressing down on my paintbrush so that it really smooths it out. And I'm trying to get all of those edges. If I have to lift something up, I can do that. And you want to make sure you get every single edge because you don't want this to come up, especially since this is going to the Brooklyn Art Library Sketchbook project, and hopefully lots of people will check it out and they will look at it and they will see it in person, and I just don't want them to have it fall apart in their hands. So it would be startling for everyone. But I would love it if so many people did view my book that it did fall apart. That would be really cool if so many hundreds and hundreds of people looked at it, but I don't know. They had to find it first. There's lots and lots of books. So if you are in Brooklyn and you go to the library, check mine out. I do have one already there. You can look at it for it under my name. And this one will be there. I don't know. I think it's due in February, maybe. Let me see here. It should say it back here. Yep, February 1st it's due. So it'll be there soon. And you can check this one out as well. All right. So now we need to dry them before we add the next layers on because it's all wet and gooey. So let me grab my heat tool and dry it. Next, I'm taking my oil pastels, water soluble ones from Prima Marketing. You know how I love these. And we are going to kind of add a little definition underneath the airplane, just to kind of separate it out just a little bit. I just scribble on there and then I just take a wet paintbrush and I just kind of drag it down. I don't want to get rid of too much of the pigment, so I'm just leaving it. And I'm just kind of dragging it down. All right, just like that. We're giving it a little bit of shadow, a little bit of definition. All right, so I'm gonna need to cut the moon. Why don't I do that now before I add anything else? There we go. Moon is all cut. Looks like this. Okay, so now I think we need to add a quote. All right, so I think we need a quote now. I'm using Tim Holtz Small Talk, and I like the journey is the destination because he's traveling and all that good stuff, and I just love that quote. We'll go ahead and grab some Mod Podge. Really want to make sure it's well adhered, and we're going to put it up here. I think I want to add some doodles around the moon. It just seems like it needs just a little bit around the moon, so I'm going to make sure I Mod Podge, really press this on. Whoops, I slid it. It moved. I was pressing too hard. It's all slippery here. Okay, just like that. Let me Mod Podge over the top so it stays. Okay. Oh, I like that. Cool. So I have a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. This is in white, and I'm just going around the moon. And I'm dotting, and I'm doing a second layer of smaller, and I'm doing a tinier layer, just 3 rows around the moon, just like that. I just thought it needed something around the moon. Oh, I like that a lot. I think that just made the page. All right, there we go. Let me really press that down. Okay, really pressed him down. That's it. I think this collage page is done. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and on my blog. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.